for the violence. All right, let's begin with that top story that I've been telling you about. The National Super Alliance will today hold a public rally at Masinde grounds in Mathare. The opposition coalition is promising to make a major statement at that rally. The rally comes amidst an unresolved issue of who will be the flag bearer for the coalition in the August election. During today's rally, the coalition principals will issue a joint statement on the state of the nation. So NASA is having that rally today. They're expected to make a major announcement. We're still figuring out what exactly they're set to announce. As late as yesterday, there was no consensus on who the flag bearer will be for NASA. It is a conversation that every single person is having. And then there was an opinion poll that was released yesterday, and that opinion poll seems to suggest that Jubilee Party is more popular than NASA in Nairobi. And then there are also those speculations that maybe, just maybe, those numbers will change when NASA finally get to announce who the presidential flag bearer will be. We'll have all this conversation here in studio. I now have Danstan Omari here in studio with me. He's a political analyst, well-versed with what's happening in the country. Danstan, good to see you. Good morning. NASA is saying they're going to make a major announcement. What can that be?
The only major announcement they have remaining is to name who is their candidate. It can also be a major announcement that they have withdrawn, they have surrendered and given Uhuru Kenyatta a ticket to go to State House. So really, politicians are known not to be very clear what they want to say and what they are saying. So I think that NASA is trying to get the people to have anxiety, people not to feel frustrated, people not to get tired about NASA. I don't think there is any major announcement that is going to come. Remember, the court yesterday extended the time for party hopping. That might give them room to still buy time. In my own view, when I look at Raila Odinga, he's a master of ambush. The last time he attacked at the last minute. So in 2002, they named Kibaki two months before the election. And they beat who? Uhuru Kenyatta. So I don't think that they are ready to name a candidate now, knowing very well that Uhuru Kenyatta is waiting for the person who will be named, and all government apparatus and the party apparatus in Jubilee will narrow to that person and start propaganda against that person, start looking for KRA, start looking for NSIS, start looking for if this person has a marital problem, if this person has issues about tax, then they will really clog on these guys. So I don't think that any strategist will tell NASA to name their candidate now. That candidate will be destroyed before August. So clearly they're not naming their candidate now. I don't think they're naming their candidate.
So what do you think they're going to talk about? Let's speculate a little bit.
They might be saying, they might be responding about the question of what the president...
Someone is trying to call you.
What the president raised when he was in Kisii about the post-election violence. That might be the discussion they'll want to respond to. Two, they will want to appear together, that we are together, we have not differed, and we are dancing together. So in my own view is that NASA has a major problem. They must be seen to be together. Two, remember, Kalonzo Musyoka has gotten a lot of problems with very many Kenyans.
Okay, wait. So first of all, they want to be seen to be together.
Yes.
So question is, from what you've seen, the body language and what every single leader has been saying, the big question, are they together?
It is one decision that will be decided when they reach there, because a politician has two personalities. There is what he projects, but there is the reality. When you had Musalia Mudavadi say that ni joto ndani kwa hii hema lakini tutakaa ndani, it's true, because there are selfish people who want Kalonzo to contest. There are selfish people in Fort Kenya who want Wetangula to be the candidate. So the four politicians are not individuals when they appear. They are captives of their political parties. They are captives of their tribes. They are captives of everybody. And also there is another captive, there is another person who wants to enslave at least one, that is Jubilee. So the Jubilee as a vulture is hovering around to see which is the weakest, who is the weakest among the four. Then they isolate that from the four. So it is really serious politics. Remember, Jubilee has already settled their candidate. If NASA plays into Jubilee's game, then NASA will be destroyed before it picks up. And also remember, I've said on this prestigious show that it is not definite that a party called NASA, a coalition called NASA, might be the one for elections. A new entity might be created. Even in Jubilee, remember, we are still saying...
Is there something that I don't know? You say that last week. There may be an entity that may be created.
Politicians have several parties. They have registered and they have kept here. Upon betrayal, they have somewhere to go.
Unleash.
And betrayal is the hallmark of every politician. Selfishness is the centerpiece of every politician. So in my own view, what we are seeing now and what we will see towards the end of April will be totally different. You've already seen a lot of schism in Jubilee. You've already seen those who people thought have more Uhuru blood and Ruto blood disappear. We've seen in Wiper, those we thought in Mombasa were really Wiper, they're already saying they are disappearing. So there is a lot of intra-party fighting that is going on. But all parties must appear true to effect that we are okay and there's no much problem. But as I'm saying, Linda, the true picture of what NASA is going to be or is going to die will come in April.
Okay, that's very interesting. Jib, please move with me. I need to ask you something. So you're saying the chances are very high that at some point Jubilee is hovering around and probably they may want to pick one of the candidates and just take off with that, right?
Yes, yes.
Question. Let me start from this end. What if they pick on Moses Wetangula? What happens? What will be the effects on NASA?
The effect of that Moses Wetangula, that he is a very popular candidate, but he cannot beat Uhuru Kenyatta. That's the reality. He does not bring any polarization. He does not bring any issues. He has no constituents of his own, but he can be donated that constituency. Because if he's given that ticket, Musalia Mudavadi loses automatically. He will galvanize the Luhya vote. But he will not have 100% of the Luhya vote because people will be asking, will he likely be voted for across the nation? So, according to me, Wetangula is a flower girl that will not see that ticket. So, he is not among the contenders of NASA ticket or whichever party that the opposition will be contesting.
Okay, so in the absence of Wetangula, will that affect the vote that Mudavadi will get?
Wetangula's base is in Bungoma. If you look at Jubilee, Jubilee has done almost every appointment within Bungoma. They have, the IBC CEO comes from Bungoma, the IBC chair comes from Bungoma, the ESCC chair comes from Bungoma, the electoral commission, the electoral body, or not the electoral body, the Jubilee Elections Board, they appointed a council called Ponya. They have removed Ponya. They have brought another guy from Bungoma. So you'll see that Jubilee has a very great interest in Bungoma. That is the home count of Moses Wetangula. That is the home count of Wamalwa. That is the home count of Ken Lusaka. The history of Bungoma is very clear. In 2007, Bungoma went with Mwai Kibaki. In 2002, Michael Wamalwa kijana coming from Bungoma went with Mwai Kibaki. Okay. So really, Bungoma is a target by Jubilee. My good friend Moses Musalia, Mudavadi,
yes,
does he have the spine to attract the nation He's a very decent politician.
But he almost worked with Uhuru and Ruto in 2013.
He's a politician who believes in the concept of being given, not going to look for it. That's what I'm saying. Do Kenyans believe in a candidate who will be said, wewe tumekupatia? So I don't think that Musalia Mudavadi comes up with the qualities Kenyans want. Remember, there is a narrative that if you get Kalonzo, you get Musalia, you get Wetangula, you get Uhuru Kenyatta, you get William Ruto, you are actually getting sons and daughters of one President Moi. And the policy is fuata nyayo. So Musalia fits the character of Jubilee, kufuata nyayo. So there are very many citizens of this nation who believe that we need to have a new start, a complete overhaul of how management of public issues is done. Okay. Musalia does not fit into that.
Okay. Kalonzo Musyoka.
A vice president, a Kanu hawk, a serious person who believes in status quo, do not disturb what has been working. So if he is given the ticket, the Kamba nation will rally behind him to the last person. And a few people that will be coming to him because the others have agreed to give him. So the question is, will he beat Uhuru Kenyatta? He'll not polarize anybody. He'll get a few votes from central Kenya for people who do not say they will wake up to vote for Uhuru Kenyatta because they fear Raila Odinga. So by them not voting, they'll have voted for Kalonzo Musyoka. So in my own view, he does not become an obstacle, but he will not beat Uhuru Kenyatta. He's a decent guy. He's a guy people will say there is no harm. But the question is, how does he beat Uhuru Kenyatta?
Okay. What about that MOU between Kalonzo and Raila?
I think that Raila Odinga played his friend very well, because the MOU was a code MOU. Raila Odinga surprisingly moved to a party fronted by Musalia Mudavadi. And nobody could understand why Raila Odinga was ready to move away from CORD to NASA. In essence, he was running away from the MOU that they had signed. That, boss, me, I signed that MOU in CORD.
Yeah, that was a clever move.
It was a very clever move. Okay. So Kalonzo cannot raise an MOU of an entity that does not exist. He can get the chance to contest on CORD. CORD does not exist. So in my own view, I think that Raila Odinga outsmarted Kalonzo by moving to NASA. And that's why I said, will Kalonzo also have registered another party, so that he says, now in NASA I have no bargaining power, so let's move to this place where I'll be the candidate.
Raila Amolo Odinga.
He comes out as the front runner. He's the most popular candidate in the NASA brigade. But does he have the capacity to win? There are two questions. The hypothesis before Kenyans is, who is the most popular candidate and who will beat Uhuru Kenyatta? Raila Odinga is the most popular candidate because he will get votes from, even in Ishaweri in Gatundu. He has followers there. But the question is, his hard tackling politics raises a lot of phobia, raises a lot of fear within the Mount Kenya region and within the Rift Valley region. But he stands a person who will change the total way of doing things. He comes like the president of Tanzania, Magufuli. When you look at Magavuli's politics and you look at Raila Odinga's politics, you look at Buhari's politics, he fits into a system of people who are able to change issues the way they are done. So when you look at the world view and the global changes, establishments are losing every day. It happened in Gambia, it has happened in Somalia, it has happened in...
The incumbents.
The incumbents are losing. So Raila, and the people coming are people who are very hard positions, like Trump. So is Raila Odinga that person? So Raila Odinga comes as the front runner of all this. And also, financially, he has the capacity to finance a presidential candidate. All these three cannot contest against an incumbent president and an incumbent deputy president. So Raila Odinga is the front runner. But winning is another discussion that will be dealt with when he has been named.
So front runner, yes. Winning is a
different
whole
story.
different conversation.
It is another story.
Okay.
Because after he is named as the front runner and the undisputed leader, how will the other three react will determine whether Raila Odinga has a chance of winning. For now, he has a chance of being named the NASA flag bearer. But winning will depend on the reaction that will emanate from his being named.
Okay, so there's a committee in place that's supposed to pick out the flag bearer for this particular team. Do you think that committee will, at the end of the day, get us a presidential flag bearer, or will these four gentlemen have to sit down and agree? And meanwhile, I can see Gabriel Muduma in studio. Gabriel, we'll be speaking to him as well. He'll be joining this conversation in a few minutes. So do you think there's a committee, this committee is able to come up with a flag bearer?
When you look at the committee, you look at the seniority of the members of the committee. When you look at who are having an interest of Raila Odinga, you are looking at James Orengo, a very established pro-Raila Odinga activist and a brainwork behind the whole thing. You're seeing
a
Mudama.
Legal mind, yeah.
You're seeing Mudama. Is Mudama really representing the interest of his party, Wiper? You are looking at these two being the engine behind the others. When you look at people like Kiro was in government, courtesy of Raila Odinga, in 2002. Is he really fronting for Musalia Mudavadi? When you look at Eseli are dwarfed. When you look at Halwale, they are dwarfed by Oparanya. They will want Raila Odinga to assist them get the ticket for governorship in Kakamega. So in my own view, the selection of the panelists clearly tells you that they will be very, very comfortable having Raila Odinga named as a candidate. Two, is that select committee going to have any power over these four? They don't have. Those are junior members. The principals themselves have discussed. They already know. And the decision of who is going to contest and who is going to bolt out is known to all of them. Remember, these people have their own parallel intelligence. They monitor each other. They spy